In this next lesson, we'll merge in a file that will represent our vise and fixtures, and we can use that moving forward when we program this part. To start, I'm going to go to the File menu, which brings us to our backstage. And from here I have an option called Merge. So this allows me to bring in, or more specifically, merge a separate file in with my existing file. I'm going to change my file type back to Mastercam files, and I'm going to bring in this file called Chain Guard Inch 2020 Start. And when I bring in the file, it's going to prompt me for moving this file into a specific location. Now in this particular example, this file moves in perfectly fine and it's in its proper space, so we don't have to move anything. However, you'll notice we have the ability to select, align, and dynamically move this file. More importantly, we have the ability to update the levels. So this happens to be a Mastercam file that we're bringing in. This Mastercam file that we're bringing in may have its own set of levels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset these levels by 100, which means if there was a level, let's just say level 30 on this file I'm merging in, it'll now be on level 130. But since we don't know exactly what's in this file, we might have to do some cleanup once it comes in. So with levels set to offset, I'm going to click OK. So as you can see, we have a large amount of levels here that are on and some that are off, and a lot of them contain geometry. If we briefly go through these levels, we know that level 1 is a chain guard. And we created wireframe geometry on level 10 and silhouette geometry on level 11. We can also hit turn off all levels. Now we can look at level 20, which makes sense that those are the levels we created earlier. Fixture plate stock has 0 entities on it. Wireframe, which is 110. Surfaces, a level with no name on it. Then we have levels called first rough, surfacing op, vise, which looks like this is our vise, fixture plate, which if we spin the part around, you may recognize from our Mill 2D class, this is a fixture plate that we created. And I'm going to keep that on for a minute so we can see bolts and different options for the stock as well as the actual stock itself. So that's a little bit of an overview as to what these levels contain. Let's do some cleaning here, including the surfaces, which we may not need. So what I'll do is I'll make that active, hide chain guard, and level 20 now has 2 surfaces on it. Since I'm unsure what this geometry is, I'm going to clear everything, window select it, and hit delete, which everything should be gone. However, I want to make sure that chain guard is still there. And it is, which means that the geometry that was on the surfaces level was something I didn't need. I could have also right-clicked and chose delete entities, which would delete all the entities on that level. Let's look at level 189 and 190, and we'll make one of those the active level so we can hide this level. I'm going to select all wireframe geometry, and we'll delete that. So again, we're just going through and cleaning up this file, and we can clean it up however we want to make it more usable. And let's look at level 10 as well, because we still have that wireframe geometry on level 10, and if we feel we're going to need that, we can keep it. So in this case, I want to keep level 10 in the silhouette boundary. However, I do want to rearrange some other levels. So for example, level 185 is our vise, and I want to change that to level 50. So I can go in here and double click on it, type in 50. Now it moves the vise to level number 50. In the stock level, I want to change from level 199 to level number 40. So now my stock is set to level 40 and my vise is set to level 50. Since we have a few levels that have 0 entities on it, I can right click, go down to clear empty levels and choose all, and that removes a few levels to help us clean up our level manager. And finally, let's clean up our geometry here before we finish this lesson by turning on the chain guard and device, but we'll turn off stock and we'll turn off some of the hardware down here. Let's go back to isometric and we'll fit it to our screen. And we're now ready to save this file and use it for future lessons where we can program this part.